Alright, we have some new reveals and information from ThreeZero that have me so freaking hyped, you guys. I'm so excited. As you guys know, when talking about reveals, I typically don't really like to do anything before there are official pictures and whatnot. Not quite sure why, it's just how I like to do things. But between the subject and just the stuff that we did get from ThreeZero, I think it's worth it. So ThreeZero revealed a DLX scaled Ironhide and Jazz from the first live-action Transformers film from 2007. In addition to this, we got some teases for a new Optimus, a Bumblebee, and a Ratchet. And they said there's going to be a focus on more Bay figures, specifically from the first three, so 07 through Dark of the Moon. So there's a lot to unpack here. So we'll start off with the two figures that we did get to see more properly. I do believe that these aren't even quite prototypes. I think I remember saying that they were more 3D printed type things instead of a full-on gray prototype. I'm not 100% sure on that, so so make sure to do research on that before saying that it is or isn't a prototype. But we got to see Ironhide and Jazz, and I guess starting off with Jazz, he looks so good. The movie accuracy is insane. The closest thing we've gotten to a fully accurate Jazz has been the NPM, and don't get me wrong, the NPM is fantastic. I'm not dogging on the NPM. It's just since it is transformable, there's going to be some compromises here and there since it has to deal with real world engineering and physics and whatnot. Being non-transformer though, this Jazz is able to be more accurate to the CG model, and it just looks so good. It is also confirmed that he is going to be able to split in half, so that's neat, and it just cracks me up that that's kind of become a thing now for Jazz. And it makes me wonder how that's going to work with the die-cast skeleton that the DLX figures have, so that'll be pretty interesting to see. And it's also said that he will come with the spinal cord attachment thing, pretty similar to the NPM. And that makes me wonder if we're going to have a Jazz that can split apart, or we're going to have an 07 Megatron that can hold him, especially since they said there's going to be a focus on Bay figures, especially from the first three. So that has me interested, although I'm a little sad because I was planning to do a custom of a DLX Megatron from 2007 using a KO of the NPM figure. I haven't finished it. It's been nearly 2 years. I just haven't painted a thing to try to match it at least a little bit. So that one's on me, but I know ThreeZero will do it way better than I could, so that's totally okay. But getting back to Jazz here, he looks great. I'll be interested to see stuff like his gun and whatnot. Very excited for Jazz. And then there is Ironhide, who I think just looks so far incredible. As usual, the details are always great on ThreeZero figures, but just the asymmetrical face, the fact that he has like the symbols and stuff on his head, it is amazing what this was able to capture. The cannons look great, just everything all around this Ironhide is beautiful. And he's just another one, like stuff like the NPM and the various like upscaled or reworked KOs of the NPM have been good and pretty accurate, but again, this just takes it to a whole nother level. We haven't heard anything about accessories. Ironhide has his cannons, so he doesn't really need anything, because this one has been specifically noted as 2007. I know people really want him to have his Dark of the Moon guns, but let's be real, that's not gonna happen. That will be a separate release without the cannons and whatnot. So yeah, I am very excited for these two. And then to get into these sort of silhouette teases that we had, obviously the big one I think is Optimus, because it really looks like they're going to be doing a reworked version of the DLX. Obviously it's just speculation. I'm thinking it's going to be something completely new, not using the previous one. Even though I do like the previous DLX Optimus, it is not the most accurate in the world, and I'm pretty sure that just comes from the fact that it was doing the combined form. Both Optimus and Jetfire especially suffered for that. I see that figure get a lot more hate than I kind of think it deserves. Yes, it isn't the best representation of Prime that ThreeZero could have done, but again, I'm willing to give them the pass on that just because of the combination gimmick. I do hope this one is a lot more accurate, even though I did end up getting some of the upgrade kits for that guy. I still don't feel like it was the worst thing. It just definitely wasn't as good as it could have been. But this guy I think will genuinely be better. I'm sure it will be more accurate, and I'm very excited to see him. But obviously this just kind of being like a silhouette tease, there's not really much to go off of, but be interested to see more. Then Bumblebee, the biggest speculation I feel for people is it the concept Camaro or the old Camaro? I'm pretty sure it's going to be the concept, but it would be cool if they did both. And then with Ratchet, there really isn't too much to say other than I'm very excited for a super accurate version of him, because I think Ratchet has a pretty cool design that a lot of figures, even the NPM, just haven't quite been able to nail, especially with stuff like a backpack. So I feel like being non-transforming will really help Ratchet. And it's just super cool to me that we could have the full original 5 Autobots from the 2007 movie in DLX form in a few years. Now, these are definitely still going to be a few years away. I would say at least 1.5 to 2 years at the very least, so there's going to be a while to go. But hey, with that time frame, that's looking to be around 2027 for a 20th anniversary. And who knows, it'd be cool if they could have the team of 07 Decepticons too, which leads into the big point of they're focusing on Bay figures specifically from the first 3. I can't stress how excited I am for that. My wallet's gonna hate me, but I would genuinely buy just about any figure that ThreeZero does based on Bay designs. I definitely have some that I would like to see more than others, but I would legitimately take just about anybody. I guess it'll be cool to see a bit more of a focus, and obviously I'm happy because it's something that I like being focused on. So I guess that about wraps it up. I know there's not really a whole lot to see here aside from these early versions of Ironhide and Jazz that we got pictures of, but still super cool to hear this information. I'm very excited to see where this goes. I love what ThreeZero does, even though I do prefer transforming figures, but just the detail, the paintwork, everything they do is just amazing to me. But tell me, are you excited for more BAY DLX ThreeZero figures? And are you excited for them doing the 5 Autobots from the 2007 movie? Let me know down in the comments. Before we go, I wanted to thank my patrons on Patreon. In my average bird tier, there is Schmoptimus Prime, and in my bird of prey tier, there is Austin Gillis. I really appreciate the channel support, you guys. Thank you. And as always, I want to give a big thanks to everyone for watching, and have a good one.